I was just thinking of something after I did that last video. I was wondering, what would be really cool is have an organization where they collect the raw material value of things, and they put that in one column. In another column they put the perceived value of the thing. Then another column they put in the tendency for that item in the industry. That what is the um, going um, duration of time that such an item is to last and actually be able to work. I mean, if it's technology or whatever, um, and to compare and its actual the actual duration that it ends up working, um, how big the industry is, how widespread it is, just assess the value of every single thing that's in our world. And this to be an organization that's nonprofit, that is kind of at the grade that Consumer Reports are. That they don't get involved with the companies, don't accept payola, that they can't become corrupt, that they have a strict business plan, that if it is ever to get fucked up, that the recourse, all the various sorts of procedures on what happens if certain cases happen, like if the owner, if the ownership is centralized, um, and the one who ran the company, they die and their significant other takes over and sells off the company, that can't possibly happen. And things of that nature, just stuff that would prevent this organization from doing what it's doing and doing it accurately. Because having such an organization in place would help us to determine which industries are moot and which industries are justifiable, and what the value is that we're of stuff that we're trading at, you know, um, and to help people determine what is an accurate value, an accurate pay scale or whatever, what you know is worth buying, what is worth paying money for. And then maybe on top of that, depending on the complexity, well, if it is well understood how the item is made, and the procedure is understood, then that would compete with the value that. See, we have patents. We have a patent system, which the idea is that a patent is supposed to prevent other people from that creating that contraption, or creating or using the art, or using the shape of the art, or the contraption, or the procedures. It's to honor the people that do the research to come up with those procedures, but everybody knows that patents, a very small portion of the patents, actually go to actually um, supporting the original designers, or the original researchers. That what they end up doing is they end up going, um, they end up getting sold to these guys that have all these patents, and they use it to sue other companies. They it really just doesn't go to serving people the way you think it does, because the patent office and the people that determine if something is if patents are competing, it's all lawyers, and it's going to cost you a lot of money to defend your patent. And so, does it really service the person who does the research in the end? If it doesn't, then that site needs that part of the government needs oversight, plenty of oversight, because in India they're just going to replicate the stuff that we research here. They're going to replicate it, and they're going to replicate it cheaply, and we're going to end up competing with the raw value of the stuff that we produce. And so, why fool ourselves? Why? I mean, people in America shouldn't be taxed for the fact that the stuff that they're working with is is cheaply researched. A good bit of it's cheaply researched, and then they pay for the advertising. I mean, the advertising's there to try and make it them aware of it. There is no oversight in the process of getting the stuff to market. It will harm you. You have no idea if in 100 years if it's going to give you cancer. You know, all of that stuff they hide from you, and it's all in the government because we've got this system where people get in the government and then they come back after they've left their seat. They come back lobbying to put laws into our government. They lobby to put laws in our government that pander to the corporations. They don't pander to the people. That's called the revolving door. The idea that people try for seats in our government so they can network and build up relationships with each other. And then whenever they leave office, they come back being paid as a lobbyist 8 times more because they've got all these special relationships with people that they got to know while they were in the government in that seat. And the only way we can fix that is to prevent them for 7 years from ever having anything to do with the government, or at least that area of government that they were working in. To have a kind of um, just a period of time that they would not be able to be involved with that part of the government, and that would prevent people who have no intent of actually helping us um, from ever getting into the government in the first place, because those people are not thinking about the chair and the they're not they're not interested in putting in valuable content into our government. They're interested in coming back and lobbying the government by using all of the people they know in the government. They're already there. That's the swamp that 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 Trump was going to drain. That he's not going to drain because he's not going to go there. He won't go there. It's very simple. All you do is you just put a penalty on people leaving the government that they can never come back and be lobbyists, and they can never be involved in that part of the government because they carry special information about who to be involved with whenever they have to push through a law. You know, there's some shady stuff going on in there. That's the reason why you got a swamp. And it's two things, and this is what Lawrence Lessig says. Two things that you need to fix in order to have democracy again, in order to have a government that works. One, you have to fix the fact that the rich people nominate the people we vote for, and how you fix that is by giving everybody a special voucher can only be used to support a campaign of somebody that's trying to get on the ticket, you know, and so that you can compete with the rich people. So for every person in America, $50. So $50 times 333 million comes out to be um, comes out about $15 billion. How many different industries are going to be able to cough up, um, you know, 5, 10, $15 billion to for campaigns? I mean, the government would just throw the money in there, and then people make the choice of whose campaigns they want to support, and that will determine who we can vote for. You see, so that the rich people don't have so much sway. And so that's one thing. And the other thing is to remove the revolving door, and so just put a amount of time, a period at which people who are leaving office cannot work in the government in the area of government, to eliminate the possible chance of somebody coming back as a lobbyist, lobbying, and using all their ties that they got while they were in the government, because that's going to create a behavior of people getting into areas of the government with the full idea that they're going to be able to come back as lobbyists. That's like that. It's like not what I can do for my country now, but what I can do later for corporations. Ask not what you can do for your country, or not ask not what your country can do for you, but what your what the corporations can do for you later. You know, it it has nothing to do with what you can do. It has to do with what the corporations will do for you coming back. I think I beat the horse to death. And now you understand what's wrong with the country. Those are the two things. Those are the two major things. And Lawrence Lessig has been pushing those ideas for the last 10, 20 years. And you would think people would learn. No. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Because people don't listen. Nothing goes in the ear and gets absorbed by the brain. What what happens is people, they solve problems very simply by thinking. I mean, on the group, on for everybody in America, it seems to be the thing is they're just rather stupid, and that's probably as a result of the work that they have makes them so stressed that it suppresses their cognition. That's what stress does, and so they don't have the capacity to actually think and absorb, and think clearly, and you know they're and when what they do read is so emotionally bent. What's in the news is so emotionally bent that it leaves people kind of lost. And I think that's what's wrong with the country. I think that's it. I think it's people are overstressed. Their cognition is suppressed. They don't know how to solve. I mean, they don't know what to do, and the way they want to solve problems is by putting someone into the government who is not going to address the problem at all. You know, if you don't know what you want, you can't. I mean, if if you if you're if you don't know what you want, you won't know what to do. I mean, if you don't know what to do, you won't know what what needs to be done. Building a wall is not going to do bullshit to improving the economy, because you have this perception that all these illegal people are coming in and reducing the amount of jobs that are available in the country. No, what's happening is that they're pretty much taking over the jobs you won't do. Well, you go out there and pick grapefruit at the speed at which some of these migrants from Mexico can pick grapefruit. No, you won't be able to compete with them. Um, they're just they're just very hard workers, and they'll do the simple shit that you won't touch. You think that they're taking away your jobs. Who's taking away your jobs are the people in China that are being abused. They're being are in places like that. They're being abused, and they're given no workers' rights. They're not even given any of the rights that we have here for. They're not given human rights in those countries, and it's basically slave labor is making all the products that you buy here, and you spend your money on those products, and those products are designed in such a way, as I just said on a previous video, they're 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 made to last only a short amount of time. They're not made to be maintainable. The only people that could maintain those are the people in those other countries that are being treated like crap. So those guys are going to have the knowledge to maintain the technology that is produced for you here. I mean, produced there and is sold here. So we do not have the education and the understanding of the stuff we buy. Therefore, we cannot maintain it. But we're never going to be able to create the technology for the amount of money that these companies require of people outside of our country. So you can see how we're losing. And the thing is that we're buying technology we could never make. And this technology is going to fail and we cannot maintain it. And so the value of our dollar is determined by how hard it is for us to get the technology that we need. I mean, it's defined by how much we need the technology, how much money we've already got, where we can find the money, if anywhere, and probably end up stealing it from each other. It's basically sucking the blood out of America, the blood money. It's sucking the blood money out of America till there's no value left in the citizens here. And it's buying products that are off the backs of people who are already have very little value in their life, you know. So the corporations are basically sucking the life out of the world, and they're putting it into their coffers. They're just gradually converting the world, and these corporations could be aliens from another planet. That this is how they work things. They start up on a set of organisms that extract the value and make value out of what's on the earth, and then they suck out the. I'm not truthful. I'm not being truthful, but it feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like there's somebody that's sucking the life out of the planet, and they're doing it in some special way that makes it feel okay. You know, it's like you're gradually being boiled. You know,